Hi, my name is Tiago Duarte and welcome to another video tutorial here at Telebeats. In today's video, I'm going to do something different. I just bought a Behringer TD-3 and I'm not going to do a review. It's more like a hands-on how to work with it and how you can set up this synth into FL Studio or any other DAW for that matter. And I will also link some videos in the description of other channels of other people that did a review and explain every single knob in this device. I'm not going to do that because I think there are already some really good advanced tutorials on the internet. So I will link some of the ones that I think are the most impressive or the most well produced. Before we start, I'd like to ask you to subscribe and activate the notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Consider supporting my channel by buying one of my products at dailybeats.pt or become a premium or exclusive member and you will have access to exclusive tutorials. And also I did I record some files here with this device, the TD3, and the premium members will be able to download those files for free. So if you want a pack with 10 files, you will have them here in the premium section or membership. So let me show you what it's all about. This is the device here. I have it here set up in my secondary camera on my right. And as you can see, it's a very nice device. It's in terms of build quality, it's a little bit cheap. It's plastic and the knobs are okay. You know, it's not the most quality knobs, but it's okay. And you can pretty much start the sound right here. I already have like this setup to interface with FL Studio. So what I'm going to do is click on these two channels or these two buttons here, and you see now this one is blinking, telling me that I have the MIDI setup configured. So the MIDI clock will sync, this oscillator will sync with the MIDI clock or the step sequencer will sync with the MIDI clock. And I can go for internal or USB. In my testings, USB was not a good option for me. MIDI was good, but I had to change some stuff in FL Studio. And I will show you in a little bit. So let's go and move this to, for instance, internal. And if we go now back, this is what it sounds. If I play now a sound, let me lower the volume a little bit. This is pattern 1. I can increase the velocity. Okay, this is one of the patterns that I was producing or recording in FL Studio. So the premium members will have access to these files or to these recordings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can switch between presets or patterns like this. And yeah, you have 7 or 8 patterns, I think 7. And yeah, so this is free flowing. So this has the internal clock. So the source is the internal clock as I showed you here. And I can start and stop it basically just clicking here. So this is to work the oscillator, to work with this device without any DAW, just work with the device itself. And here, as you can see, you can change the tempo, and changing the tempo will increase the velocity of the pattern. Okay, usually what I like to do is to have this synced up with FL Studio so that I can record, and I have internal clock coming from FL Studio going here. That's why I have the MIDI connection. So as you can see here, I have the USB cable here connected so that I can program files automatically or patterns automatically via USB instead of going through this very complicated pattern mode or selector. And I have also the MIDI one here, which is connected to my Focusrite audio interface, and it's sending the MIDI format or the MIDI clock through this file. And here is the output. It's a normal jack cable that is also connected to my Focusrite interface. Okay, so these are the connections, and let's go back to FL Studio. And here what I had to do was go to options, audio settings, and I had to change from FL Studio ASIO because the ASIO was not working very well. It was giving me a lot of drift in the clock, so I had to move to the Focusrite USB ASIO. And with that, I was able to just sync the device better. And then you go here to MIDI, and as you can see, I have it here both. I have it both here, both the TD-3 and my Focusrite USB MIDI. And what I basically did was to send master sync. And yeah, that's basically it. You just enable send master sync. You can also set the port that you want. For this point, it doesn't matter too much. As long as you have a port here, it will send the clock through the audio, through the Focusrite USB audio interface. And that's basically it, what I had to do. And then you have here this small app that is from Behringer. I really dislike this app. It's not very well programmed, to be honest. It's it's a simple app, but as soon as you turn on the device with a USB connection, it automatically detects the device that you have. In this case, it's a TD-3. So let's get started, and then we go through this module here, or these options. So we have the general options, and you can set the MIDI out channel, MIDI in channel, MIDI transpose, pitch bend, and so on. And here the clock source. I changed the clock source as you saw in the device, but I can also change it here, and I will change it to MIDI D in. And now if I play here anything on FL Studio, it will send the information of the clock through the MIDI, and it will also reproduce based on the tempo of FL Studio. So the knob that I showed you with the pitch in the device does not work anymore. Then we have here some options for calibration, update, and so on. And then the most important one here is the sequencer. And as soon as you turn on the sequencer, you get this page here. And that's why I say this tool is not well built, because you cannot resize this. If I want to have a smaller window, I cannot do that, and sometimes the store and recall don't work, and it's just a mess. Sometimes I switch stuff here, and I start putting some notes, and it's really the I don't know if it's my computer. Maybe it's just my computer now, it's working a little bit more better. But if I have it on my second monitor, it's always flashing the application, which is a little bit sad, because it's a cool way of programming stuff. So I can actually show you, for instance, let's go to pattern 1 in section A, group 1, and let's recall this. And you see, I had to click twice so that I could see the pattern that I was working with. So I can import, export, and I can select the length, triplets if I want triplets. And as you can see, it's a simple tool. But again, if I wanted to just resize this, I couldn't. I can do like this. But then if I want to do some stuff, then it gets a little bit complicated. And there is no close button, and I had to do that. So it's I don't know, it's okay for the purpose of the device itself. So now if I play, you see that now it's playing based on this tempo. So if I switch back here to see, let's play, and you see now that the actual button is flashing, which means that the signal is being sent from FL Studio, or the clock is being sent from FL Studio, and it's enabling this. I can also disable it here, the sound, but we still have the clock itself coming from FL Studio. So if I hit play, okay, then if I switch or if I change the velocity, you see that the velocity now is set by FL Studio. And if I switch this here, the tempo knob, it doesn't work anymore. So that's the point of having this synced with FL Studio. And it's a easy thing to do. It's not that hard, but it's quite nice because you can just have it synced with FL Studio. That was my main purpose of buying this, was to have it. No, it was not to have it as a standalone device, was to integrate it with FL Studio or Ableton. I also did it with Ableton and it works fine. So now we just have fun with it. So we can switch the style of wave shapes that we have, or the waveforms that we have. And let me increase the volume a little bit. We can change the distortion. Make it more bright or less bright. And because I use this as a baseline generator, I prefer it to have it like this. And then we can tune it with the pitch knob here. I quite like this for techno basslines. So let me show you. This works really nice with for electronic dance music. Sorry, you can see that we can record audio in the playlist as an audio clip or into Edison. In this case, I'm going to put it as an audio clip in the playlist. So let's hit record. Okay, so let's do notes and automation and let's record. Okay, let's see. Now it's pretty much on time because of the step sequence of the step here, or the quantization. Okay, we can add something else. I'm thinking about some strings or something that goes like a swell, and I can do that with Flex because Flex has some nice strings. Let's go with where are the strings? Essential strings. Okay, and slow. Okay, maybe chords is too much. Let me see. Yeah, chords I think is too much. Okay, but I want something like this. Swell. Swell. I don't know how to spell this. It's going like that. Probably a mistake, but whatever. We have a nice techno track here. And it was done with the TD-3 device that I'm really enjoying it. It's I'm a little bit like, in terms of the quality of the build of the device, it's a little bit, it feels cheap. The knobs wiggle a little bit, but besides that, I think it's a really dope synth, a really nice device to have in in your home studio or in your studio or in your setup or whatever you want to call it. As you can see, it gives some really dope basses, some really nice basses, and you can have some really nice sounds with this and have some fun, which is the most important part of making music, which is what I just done. And yeah, I think this is it, guys. If you are new here to this channel, subscribe and activate the notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also consider supporting my channel by buying one of my products at dailybeats.pt or become a premium member, and you will have access to this file, to this project file. I will have a download link there and a couple more sounds so that you can just mess around with it and make your own tracks with it. And I think I will have 10 new sounds just with the TD-3, and it's a little bit like this one. It's 16 or 30, I think it's 16. This one is 16, let me check. Yeah, 16 bars of sound. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.